It's on! Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the best weekly show on the internet, hosted by these people, Disney Parks Talk Live. Today, for January 9th, 2023, my name is Gibby Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place, yada yada. Over there is my wife, the other co-founder, Rebecca Mosley.
Hey, everyone.
Wearing her Pandora hat. I should give her a proper greeting. Namaste. And down there is Mike Celestino. How you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you guys?
Mike is the vice president, head honcho of everything Southern California theme park related, as well as Star Wars, Muppets, Fraggle Rock, and anything else that no one else wants to cover. The fourth member of our team, the vice president of not showing up when he's supposed to, even though I know he's around, is Jeremiah Good.
Wow.
Who just said, be right there. So 4:02, Jeremiah. He may have 3 extra hours because he's in Florida. All right, so we're here to bring you, hey, my spirit animal, always great to see you. Talk about the week in Disney news. And the big news just broke and really, really, really involves Jeremiah. So we need to get him in here. There was when I first saw it, I thought it was a cryptic tweet. And now that the internet has gotten into it, it's not nearly as cryptic anymore. But let's go ahead and check it out. This was just tweeted by Disney Parks about an hour ago. It's pretty cool.
This is not what I expected when my phone was buzzing off the hook with all of the messages between you guys, the team.
So I believe the message that went along with this was need a clue, CLU, and some emoji, old school, that means something to someone. So our people, and to be honest, our people solved most of this without the help of the internet. But the internet obviously helped too. And what it seems to be, obviously it's related to Tron. And really wish Jeremiah were here to help out with this. Because this is right up his alley.
You can talk about Earl of Sandwich while we wait for him.
Let's do that. We have topped breaking news with breaking news. So while we wait for Jeremiah, let's take a look at this headline. Do we have this on our site yet?
I think it just came out from the Parks blog. So.
No, we don't. Yes, it did just come out on the Parks blog. La Brea Bakery closed this morning, kind of unexpected. It was open yesterday, no big announcement, and it closed. Let me get this away for a moment. And
looking at their corporate site, it would seem to me that they're moving away from retail locations and going back to being support for various bakeries. I know that they've sold their artisan breads through other bakeries previously, but they did have a flagship shop there at Downtown Disney, and they had one in Los Angeles, and both of those closed today.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, so as Rebecca said, both of those closed today. And La Brea Bakery, one of the original locations at Downtown Disney, which means it opened January 12th, 2021, just short of celebrating its 22nd birthday. Right there next to the entrance to DCA, right there, that when you get off the tram, I would venture to say more people see La Brea Bakery than even see World of Disney because of its location. It had the primo location, 22 years, and it is gone. Why did it close? Or are they going to do something with the space? Well, apparently they are.
Mike, I know that bakery goods are not your thing due to dietary restrictions, but was there anything that, you'd stop by La Brea Bakery for, or because it was a bakery, it just was kind of off the Celestino to-do list whenever you were at the resort?
I definitely passed by it almost every visit to the parks, but did not really go in there because of my celiac disease. I can't really even walk in there without having an allergy attack.
Okay.
But yeah. When I heard this morning, I was surprised by the news, and my first thought was, well, what's going to go in that space? And I was like, well, maybe Earl of Sandwich could come back and take up that space, and that seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, Earl of Sandwich, which was way on the other side of Downtown Disney, right, Mike? Over real close to the hotel.
Yeah, it was next to the AMC theater.
Oh, well. We'll just...
I'll pretend to be Jeremiah.
Okay.
Come on. Anyway, So yes, that's where it was, and then it had to close to make way for construction over there. But Earl's Sandwich is hugely popular, and so people thought it's got to move somewhere, doesn't it? And yes, guess where it's going? In the prior location of La Brea Bakery. So I have a feeling that a lot of the people who were kind of saddened by the closure of La Brea Bakery will be happy-ended by the reopening of Earl's Sandwich. Really exciting, coming in February.
The other possibility that crossed my mind was the Porto's Bakery, which I think had been announced for downtown Disney, but I think that's going to be part of the new courtyard area that they're building where the AMC used to be.
And also other changes. There's Wonderground Gallery and Disney Home are temporarily closed for some work. You can actually visit Wonderground Gallery right now in the former ESPN location, which I was going to say right across from Rainforest Cafe, but that's also a former location. So, but in that area. And Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen is under refurb as it gets a completely new look, and it will get a new name, Jazz Kitchen Coastal Grill and Patio. So on the one side, you have Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. On the other side, you have Jazz Kitchen Coastal Grill and Patio. Which name do you like better, Mike?
What happened to Ralph Brennan?
That is an excellent question. Apparently, I don't know, he doesn't warrant his name being in the title anymore.
Okay.
Maybe it's by Ralph Brennan, I'm not sure.
I mean, Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen is very specific because it name checks somebody who I don't know the history of that place or who Ralph Brennan is really. The other one sounds a little bit more generic.
Yeah, well, what's funny is the restaurant, I don't have the concept here for the restaurant, unfortunately, because we didn't know this story was going to drop right now, but the concept art for the new Ralph Brennan's or the new Jazz Kitchen also looks rather, at least compared to the big saxophone that it has now, rather generic. So. But the big news is Earl's Sandwich is coming. Also, there's another location that's currently under construction. The Din Tai Fung restaurant. Apologies for my pronunciation is that good, but that's going to be coming as well. So lots of changes at Downtown Disney in California.
I just want to chime in because you were talking about Ralph Brennan. That family's known, like, been a restaurateur family in the New Orleans, Louisiana area. I want to say, for decades or something. I recall there being a bit of hype about that when the Downtown Disney project, kind of first opened. It was a bit of a signature. They went with a lot of I want to say signature dining names. When they opened, you had the Catal group there with Joaquin Spliegel coming there. You had Ralph Brennan with the Jazz Kitchen. So it's interesting now to see some of that kind of I don't know how to put it, but like restaurateur element kind of fading a bit and moving into a bit more standardized dining maybe.
Maybe that's an industry change. So this is Ralph Brennan old entrance, and then this is the new entrance. You can see Jazz Kitchen, Coastal Grill.
I see you, Jeremiah. I'm pulling you in. Just a minute. Okay, gotcha. So wait, so with this announcement, because I know it just dropped and I haven't had a chance to look at it. So it's still Ralph Brennan's operationally. They just are taking the Ralph Brennan's kind of off the marquee.
I don't see anything that indicates it's not. In fact, the concept art says at the bottom, copyright 2022 Ralph Brennan Jazz Kitchen.
Okay.
I just think they're just changing.
So it's just kind of disappearing, because I feel like that's happened with more and more eateries in general. So you're going more with the name of the restaurant and kind of taking that restaurateur name off of it. I don't know.
What was the news about Earl's Sandwich that I missed?
It's going into La Brea Bakery's old location.
Oh, wow.
In February,
yeah, right around the corner. I believe that.
It's going to be a nice size, finally. That's almost the size of the one out here.
Oh.
Yeah, it is pretty much. Yeah, if you include all the, I wonder if they're gonna. I guess in February they're probably not going to do much addition, because the one in Florida is almost entirely inside, whereas La Brea Bakery has a ton of outdoor area.
Yeah.
On Twitter, Tangaroa Joel, who's somebody I've known online through LP discussion boards and everything, and now know through Twitter. He was recently touting their bar, and so it was like some people didn't even realize there was a bar, apparently inside there. So it's interesting now. It's gone. Right
Yeah,
right
right.
after the internet seemed to have discovered it, it's now gone.
But that bar was added when the DCA expansion, because they built that kind of for that that temporary entrance they did.
Yep, but I feel like some people kind of went in opening of Downtown Disney and kind of never really went back.
Yep.
I always think of it as the granola place.
By the way, the opening of Downtown Disney 22 years ago, we were there, we're old. Maybe the best media event ever, maybe only second to Epcot's Millennium Celebration. That was a party and a half.
Well, that's because it was a party. It was a charity. It was a hard ticket charity event. All the venues were you purchased this ticket, and then you in essence had a lanyard that said you had bought a ticket, and you would go around, and all the food was just out from all these different locations for you to try, and they had the best foot forward as far as what entertainment was going to be available at all the different venues, whether it was salsa dancing or the jazz bands or what. I mean, like
basketball
I say,
players.
It was I want to say there were athletes over at ESPN. I feel like there were like athletes there to meet.
The best thing, if you recall, was upstairs at ESPN Zone, which was like Sugarland, and they just had big piles of sugar and CNH containers and candy and sweets all over the place.
Yeah, it was like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory up there with just enormous piles of candy everywhere. Sly Stallone, wasn't he at that event for some reason?
I believe he was. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure
I feel like
right.
He was one of the celebrities at the opening of Downtown.
And of course, Elizabeth and Paul Glazer.
There was fireworks with it. Lots of fun.
So we should point out, as Kidder has posted in the chat,
yes.
As I read further in this press release here, the Earl of Sandwich will temporarily be located in the former La Brea Bakery location, and then Porto's will indeed be moving in there later on.
And I feel like that's too small for Porto's.
Thank you very, very, very much, Kidder, for keeping us on the straight and narrow there. It can be a little tricky trying to talk and read at the same time, but that is 100% correct. It's a temporary, and as previously shared, Porto's will be Porto's, which has been previously shared, is going to be going in the La Brea Bakery location.
And everybody was walking around the expo with those.
I'm guessing that Earl of Sandwich will find a new home as the west side of Downtown Disney gets.
I think Earl of Sandwich is going to be the Jeremiah, the middling success cousin that just surfs all around the neighborhood trying to find a place to stay for a while.
He's annoyed at you for being. He's annoyed at
Scooby. Was that what you're saying to me?
He's taking it out on you that you were late because our top story was Tron, and that's your specialty. So he's
sorry. My computer still hasn't booted up, so I'm on my phone right now. Yes, we are going. All
right, we are going to watch Tron again, and then we're going to
power through. Wait,
we're going to watch all of Tron. Sweet. I just watched in like 10 minutes looking for stuff.
All right, and I got the audio properly this time, so we're actually going to hear this incredible tweet.
That's actually generic. That is nothing Tron.
Of course. Yeah, they can't afford to license that music. All right, Jeremiah. So what they tweeted out was this Tron ranking scoreboard, the top scoreboard for people who played video games back in the day. And then the internet quickly got to work and figured out what most of these mean. And Jeremiah and Tony and our crew, I think they did most of it without even the help of the internet. So Jeremiah, going down the line, tell us what we think these mean and how important it is.
So I don't have my cheat sheet in front of me, but if I remember correctly, number one is the top score that was ever achieved on Tron, which is probably one of the most random things I've ever, I did the alternate gaming for Tron Legacy that had us running around, we had to run all around the San Fernando Valley and do weird stuff. But this score is one of the most random things. And then the next one that says US, we are assuming, again, this is just assumption, that is the opening date for Tron Light Cycle Run out here at Magic Kingdom. We have no evidence at all other than Disney Parks going, hey, you want a clue? That's the only one, unless number 8 somehow points out the dates for it. We don't know.
So that date would be, we're guessing, the whole internet is guessing, March 21st, 2023, with the leading one just being to get it up at the top of the board.
Which does fit with the spring. It fits in the 50th anniversary. And if you look at the history of Disney parks, that's kind of close to right around the time where most things normally open.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is when Tron Legacy was released, the film. Number 4 is Jeff Bridges' birth date. Number 5, I can't. What's the letters for that one?
MK, that's Magic Kingdom's opening date.
Thank you. The Magic Kingdom opening date. Number 6 is Disneyland's opening date. Number 7 was the. Again,
that's Tron,
Kevin
the
Flynn.
Original Tron film.
Oh yeah, no, Kevin Flynn's. It's when the release of it was also the date that Kevin Flynn was put into the grid is what they say for that. Number 8, we have no clue.
Number 8's the mystery.
I just watched the entire film in about a half hour looking for those numbers, and nothing close comes up. Number 9 is the opening of Shanghai Disneyland. Number 10,
and it's where Tron can also be found. So Tron
that is also the opening day of the original Tron Light Cycle Power Run. And then number 10, cast member. In the past, for some of the attractions, they've done cast member experiences after the opening for the cast members when they don't have the time to do the special previews. It says CM. It says April. Could be April 4th to the 8th is what it seems to kind of spell out a little bit. So we don't know if that's a definite. The biggest ones, of course, are the date and the cast member part. And then, of course, number 8, which if somebody can tell me that, it'll save me hours of sleep right now.
And so most people, again, Disney intentionally put this out to get the internet guessing. So, while we don't do a ton of speculating normally, I think we're supposed to do it now.
Yeah.
Most people seem to be saying March 21st for that opening. Some people are saying add 3 and 1 to get April 21st for that opening. We'll find out, but it's so much fun.
I don't see
speculate.
April going that far.
April?
Yes.
Okay.
April O'Neil. She's an amazing reporter. But no, I'm guessing March 21st is what we'll be seeing for that. But again, this was a drop that happened, an hour ago? And I haven't stopped looking. I was tied up with other things, and then my computer wouldn't start up again. Tron, for me, I love Star Wars. I love, Disney, but Tron has always been like that one nerdy thing for me. And I will definitely be there the first time that I can. As people always point out that Jeremiah always has to be first. I don't have to be first, but for this one, I'll be there.
Our Tony Betty is really locked into the notion that this LB on this stands for Laura Baines, and he's tried every which way to make it fit Laura Baines. So if anybody out there, I'm dropping that as a possible hint, because like I say, that our Tony is trying to make that somehow work. So if you think of something that maybe fits that, hey, shoot us a tweet or a DM through Twitter or something, and kind of point us in that direction. There you go.
And Gio,
off base, but we'll see.
Gio, I know, is always on the Twitter. So if you see someone who has definitively solved number 8 out there in Internetville, let us know, Gio. We'd appreciate it. Or Kidder.
Yeah, because that one, it could just be a filler, but we also thought number 1 might be a filler.
No way it's a filler. No way number 8's a filler. It has some awesome meaning, and someone's going to figure it out, or they're going to tell us.
Yeah, so, I'm guessing probably by the end of the week is when Disney parks will go, this is the date.
Yeah, if they're going to put this out now, I got to believe they're going to actually announce the date definitively very, very soon. I'd be shocked if they don't. Get those bookings in. All right, so the thing I thought was going to be our top story today dropped to number 3, but it's time now. Mike Celestino, take center stage.
I got to go to Super Nintendo World very briefly for a guided tour with one of the creatives there at Universal Studios Hollywood. It was like a whirlwind tour, less than an hour, and they really like rushed us through. I wasn't allowed to take a ton of photos of the land itself, but I did take a bunch inside the queue for the Super Mario Kart attraction. It got me really excited to see the completed land, because while I was there, they were still painting. They were still painting a lot of things. Like they had a lot of tarps up and scaffolding up, and they basically were like, only take photos of things that look completed. And that was a very small percentage of the land, what seemed completed to me. But I think they are in the process of wrapping that up, although it's a very rainy day in LA right now. So I don't know if they're able to continue painting in the rain, but it seems very close. But I will say that when I stepped through that pipe and I saw the amount of kinetic movement and energy around Super Nintendo World, I got very excited to see it in its completed state. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the emphasis is really on, interactivity and play and exploration. They really kept kind of hammering that home, and very curious. I didn't get to go on the ride, unfortunately, yet, but it was cool to get a little bit of a preview of this.
Did you get a power-up band?
No, but our tour guide did show us how the power-up bands worked. He had one, and he kind of walked us around. He put it up, scanned it against some of the initials on the wall and hit the power blocks, the question mark blocks with it. So I did get a sense of how that would work.
Yeah, the stuff they've shown that I've seen out of Tokyo, or I'm sorry, out of Japan, has been amazing. Like, the basic stuff that you saw, where it's just the one Copa shell going. If you time it correctly, you could start a whole chain reaction going up the mountain. That I can't wait to go there. I can't wait to spend many hours in there, but I also feel like it's going to be a year before you can actually do anything without 50 people waiting for you.
That seems likely. Yeah, there's a lot of little interactive spots around the land itself. I saw one where you're trying to knock a Goomba off a log. The Goomba's like walking on a log and you're trying to knock him off. And there's another one with a Koopa Troopa that you're trying to knock down, and there's piranha plants all over. So yeah, a lot of little interactive spots like that. And of course, there's character meet and greets. I saw the Mario, Luigi, and Peach costume characters while I was there. They can talk. I don't think their mouths move, from what I could tell. We got to check out the entrance to the Toadstool Cafe, which is the takeout dining location in there.
Is there
go ahead.
Is there any difference that you're aware of between the land here and the one that already exists in Asia?
Yeah, actually, if you scroll down to my last paragraph in here, I asked that very question.
Oh, I know. That's what triggered me to ask you.
Okay. I'm trying to remember everything he said. Obviously, there's no Yoshi ride that they have in Japan. And then he said the layout of some of the queues is different just because of space restrictions. It's not as much of a footprint. The entire land doesn't take up as much space because they don't have as much space at Universal Hollywood as they did in Japan when building it. Otherwise, he said you're going to get largely the same experience.
So I know you've watched this go up from way up high, the upper lot, looking down on the lower lot. When you actually got to walk in there, what surprised you? What emotion or visual or anything did you get that was not really what you expected given your experience watching it go up?
Just the amount of movement and the amount that it feels like you're walking into that game, to Super Mario Brothers specifically, because as you walk in through that pipe, again, you kind of exit out through this little castle that reminds you of Super Mario 64 specifically, but then the world kind of opens up in front of you and you see all the hills and the pipes and the Koopa shells bouncing back and forth. And there's just movement everywhere you turn. And like I said in my write-up, it's kind of the opposite of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in that way, because there's just constant movement and activity, really, is how I would describe it based on my very limited time in there.
And when is it expected to open to the public?
So it opens for annual pass holders who have reservations, which just became available today, on the 27th of January. And then I want to say February 17th is the date for all guests.
Yeah. January 17th. I feel like, 27th. I feel like something else is happening that day. Like they may be competing with. Oh, our next story. Yeah, that is a big day for Disneyland as they kick off Disney 100 with the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and the launch of this thing, which we're going to talk about next. I'm so confused. Okay, it said remove for me. I don't see it. Let's watch this together with audio, and then we'll talk about it. This is the release Disney Parks put out about a little less than a week ago for World of Color 1.
It just takes one.
See the ripples, watch them turn to waves. You never know who it might touch, and soon it might be all of us. Maybe there's a world that it can change. So start away. Oh, maybe there's a world that you can change. So start away.
That song is mesmerizing. I love that. I know it reminds me of Luminaria, just the soothing. What's that?
It's my hat from the Disney Channel Friends of Change when we were told to make a wave. Now we're supposed to start a wave.
We're starting a wave completely different. Mike? All right.
Nice. Good job, us.
We did it.
I want to issue a quick correction. You were correct. I got my dates mixed up. Runaway Railway is the 27th. Sunday, the 29th is the beginning of the annual pass holder previews for Super Nintendo World.
Don't want to go up against Disney. All right, thanks for that correction. Yeah, we've watched that a few times around here, and Tony, who knows how many times he's watched it. So, what do you guys think of that footage, the song, anything?
I'm excited.
Catch a Flave.
And that says a lot. I haven't been excited for World of Color since the Tron core was added to the original show, back to Tron. But yeah, that footage is beautiful. I can't wait for that.
I like any theme park music that reminds me of 80s SeaWorld. That's one right there.
Which the fountains too. It fits right in.
Yep, it hits me in a
show.
special nostalgic place. Not necessarily Disney nostalgic, but it hit me in a nostalgic place.
If you want to go get some Sparkletts water and
Yep.
Mike, does this have you excited?
Yeah, I'll get to see this pretty soon. It's just a couple weeks away, right? Like 3 weeks from now. Less than 3 weeks, but I'm excited.
Yeah. And they released a few new this isn't concept art. These are excuse me, actual images. Oh no, this is terrible.
I could see Doobie's screen behind the scenes, everybody, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, wrong window. Ah.
Click the toolbar, and all of a sudden,
check it out. Look, we got a favorite nod.
Yeah,
Aw.
take that, other LP hosts.
I mean, we pretty much got 90% of them here, so that's not saying a lot.
Oh, hey, Donna throwing enjoyment of walk and talk this morning. Where were you guys this morning?
We're at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Did
Very
you
cool.
end up going on Splash, Jeremiah?
I did not. The line, even when I left. So my phone, the charger I was using, had died, and I found that I was very short on power. When we ended the show, I had 2%. I sat there and charged my phone a little bit off the gimbal, and by the time I left, the Lightning Lane line was out past the old store and going up the hill.
The Lightning Lane line.
Yes. So not only the Lightning Lane, but the regular line was all backed up. So there was not a chance that I was going to make it on there today.
So this is the new photos that they have released from World of Color 1. We've got some Coco here, some Mirabel from Encanto.
I was just
Scroll-
saying, is Grogu part of this thing?
Yes, we'll see that in just a moment. Here is a really cool scene. I'm not sure I love the concept of Marvel being a part of it, but if they have to do
Hey.
it, this scene is awesome.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. How does it grab? I mean, it not weirds me out. I don't know. It does. These don't connect it to me in like a nostalgia Disney emotion way, but I
Not even
guess I need
Grogu?
to adapt.
Not even Grogu?
No, how about you, Mike?
Well, I've accepted that kids who were 8 years old when The Mandalorian started are now 35, so they'll be the ones nostalgic for Grogu and the end of Avengers Endgame.
Very good.
But one of the things that I think one of the biggest complaints about the original World of Color was it was static. Like, I think the newest thing they had was Wall-E, which even that, I want to say, I'm sure Tony will correct me on this, was a couple of years past. And then they started going, wait, we have this cool technology, and started adding in the stuff, and then it just got out of control. And this kind of, I'm glad they're going in and resetting it, not just going back to the original with here's 12 other scenes we added in.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't have too much of a problem with the Marvel and the Star Wars. The longer it goes, the more you realize they're just a part of the thing. The one that did surprise me was this photograph from it. I did not expect to see Chris Berman in World of Color 1, and that was quite a shock.
They got to get every part of the umbrella. They're ignoring the Muppets, but let's get ESPN in there.
That's a joke. Chris
Crazy
Berman
man.
is not in World of Color 1 that we know of. That we know of. They
No, I guess in reality, I haven't seen World of Color a lot. So I guess in reality, if I really thought about it, I mean, they've incorporated, Johnny Depp and whatnot. It's not that big of a leap, really, from Johnny Depp to Grogu. So
to Chris Berman. So, they did release
They had
one.
NTH in there for a while, so
Yeah,
yeah, I never saw that version.
Good thing they didn't record that opening with Bob Chapek. They released another video as well. This one on
I don't want to know
TikTok.
what this one's going to be.
No, this one's for real. This one's
This
for
is
real.
legit.
This was released on TikTok. Let's go take a look.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, producer for World of Color 1. There's so many special moments in the show, but I think right now Soul is my absolute favorite. The way the fountains dance, the way the music plays out, it's just such a beautiful and different way that we get to play. I've been with World of Color since we were sketching ideas on a napkin. And so it's so exciting to see the show come together, and the show is really spectacular, and I am so excited and can't wait to share it with you all.
It just takes one.
One. I like how, despite the cutbacks that Bob Chapek has instituted initially and Iger has continued in terms of design tools, they're still able to get something like this done because all it takes is a napkin, apparently, to design a show like this. Tony Betty points out.
I was just about to say that as a Disney fan, whenever I have something that I know I want to accomplish, I make sure to write it out on a napkin. The other day, Gideon came in the room. He's like, "Mom, why are you writing that note on a napkin?" I'm like, "Haven't you learned anything in all these years? A great idea always begins on a napkin."
Yeah, tell them to watch Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Spoilers.
That is not a spoiler.
Napkins are important.
So one of the things, going back to World of Color, way back when it started, were you guys still in you guys were already out in Florida by that time, right?
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to attend, actually, for Attractions Magazine. It was still Attractions Magazine at that time. And one of the things that I learned over the years was the fountains that Disney had purchased from all, like, they had 5 different distributors. Disney went in and made those fountains do things that the people that created the fountains never even knew that they could. And they would go back in and reprogram other shows across the country with the stuff Disney did with their own, with these fountains for World of Color.
So what you're saying is, without World of Color, fountain shows around the country would not be as great as they are.
Have you seen the Bellagio fountain recently?
Recently, no. But...
Yeah.
Okay, well,
We
so
didn't even
that's
see them originally. Remember, we walked
yeah.
all that way in the heat. It was so hot. We were walking with a friend who was very pregnant at the time. She was not at all comfortable, only to get thwarted by winds and unable to see the Bellagio fountains.
one of the real.
Protect the Bob Gurr pirate ship.
I have seen that. I saw the guy go down. I tried to hold my breath with him, couldn't do it, and then he came back up. That I
Didn't we
see.
have this discussion before?
At
Probably.
least once. At least once. All right, we're going to move on then to something else. Mike, do
Hi,
you like to eat?
Javier. Welcome back.
Do you like food, Mike?
I love the food that I am able to eat. Yes.
All right, then we have a deal for you. A lot of people have been wanting to know, when is free dining coming back to Walt Disney World? Well, folks, we still don't know. But instead, they do have the dining card that is included with select stays, select hotels this summer. And depending on where you stay and when you stay, you can get anywhere from $50 per night. I'm sorry, anywhere from $35 per night to $150 per night per room. And again, that is per room, not per person, but per room.
Well, if we're going to start analyzing this also, it is also based on rack room rate, which is
Yes.
the basic room rate, and you have to purchase tickets. So,
Also true. So do your math. Don't assume this is a great deal. Or, you know what? That's a bad suggestion. That is a bad suggestion. Math is hard. Call Mouse Fan Travel. Say, this is when I'd like to travel. What's the best deal? And they'll let you know, oh, use this discount and buy your own food, or pay rack rate and get the dining card, and help you figure out the best way to do it. But the dining card's cool. It's not free dining, but you do get a dining card up to $125, $150 per night. If you stay at a deluxe resort during the busiest time, you can do it for up to 5 nights. So that would be $750. And then you can just use it on food pretty much anywhere. It's not a gift card. You can't use it on merchandise, but you can use it for dining pretty much anywhere. Could work out well for you.
Javier, we talked about the clue messages earlier, so you'll have to hit rewind and hear all about it. Jeremiah took us through each one of the user height scores, and we discussed what they might mean. So be sure and rewind to check that out, Javier.
Definitely do. So that's the new dining card offer. There are no real exclusions other than it has to be a Disney place. You know, the resort, the Disney Springs Hotel, Swan and Dolphin don't work, and the place like Goofy's Candy Kitchen doesn't work. But basically any restaurant counter service is not to work at. Mouse Fan Travel can help you make that decision on if that is how you should go. Because again, as Jeremiah said, you have to pay full price, and maybe you're not paying full price. Maybe you're a Florida resident who wants to use the Florida resident Disney weekday magic ticket beginning January 10th. Another special that's just come out. So if you are a resident of the state of Florida, you can actually visit Disney World for as low as about $53 a day, which is like amazingly cheap if you think about it. Now, obviously, there are restrictions. You have to go during the week. That's if you buy a 4-day ticket, and it's valid through. It has some exclusions. You don't want you going during spring break and such. But if you've got some flexibility and you want to spend a few days at Disney, and you're a Florida resident, obviously, this is an incredible way to go about it. So that's the new Florida resident weekday magic ticket. Check it out. Jeremiah, do you like going to the parks on the weekdays?
yes, I love going to the parks on the weekdays because it's normally not as bad unless it's Monday, January 9th.
Well, I love this one. I'm not sure if you may have showed this while I was talking, Rebecca, but this is a great question. Does Mike have room for more Disney World stuff on his shelf? Mike, could you fit one more morsel on your shelf?
I'm certainly going to try because I still have stuff that I got for Christmas that I have not even attempted to put on the shelf. So I'm hoping the answer to that question is yes. More likely no.
One of the very first lives we did, this just popped in my head, I forgot, but one of the very first times we went live, just kind of testing things out, was Mike walking around his house showing us all his stuff. Do you remember that, Mike?
And it's gotten even more cluttered since then.
Yes,
Okay.
Jeremiah.
So I just got from a friend what line 8 might be.
Ooh,
Okay.
Breaking news.
Okay, so This apparently is on Twitter. People are pulling up. LB stands for loading bay. There are 7 trains on the ride. It pulls 4 Gs, and the top speed is 95.4 kilometers per hour.
You had me to the last one.
Why would they go by kilometers per hour?
Well, Shanghai. They
Shanghai.
do the real stuff. But that is, according to Wikipedia, again, I'm just going off of what I'm getting, that matches the information. So that could be information about the ride itself. It does kind of fit when everything else is in there. So
Right. That could be. I have nothing better. But if I had to,
that's
bet,
exactly.
I
I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't like, yes, it's Wikipedia, and somebody could have said, "Hey, this is right," and gone in and adjusted everything. But
how cool would it be if when Disney announces the actual opening date, they don't reference this at all, and they just leave us hanging on number 8?
Not. That is not cool.
That is not cool.
By the way, Mike, if you're needing popcorn buckets for your collection, Bob Newell is offering up some popcorn buckets.
I appreciate the offer, but I think I'm stocked up on popcorn.
Yeah,
are you sure? There's some new ones that have. Well, I guess not new ones. There's some old ones that are popped up on the Pixar Day at Sea. That if you didn't get them when they've been released in Disneyland before, like,
Are they the Mike Wazowski and Sully ones?
No, they have Mater. I've only seen some pictures. They have some fun stuff. I mean, I will tell you this. I offered it to Tony, and Tony said he didn't want anything. So that means that it's already been out there, and he's got 5 of them each.
Yeah,
Speaking of popcorn buckets,
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to impose upon my friends in Florida to get me a Figment.
He's coming back.
Yeah, I missed him the first go around, and I was kind of like, I don't care. But then as time went on, I'm like, I think I care a little.
Now he has a cool. If my Figment was closer, I'd go get him so we can compare the straps. But
well, see, that's the thing. I don't care about the strap. So, if there's somebody, I was thinking if I had a friend who was really super interested in the strap, I could be like, hey, I'll give you the strap if you invest in getting me the bucket.
Aren't you guys going to be out here during the Festival of the Arts?
I don't know that we are, so we'll see. So that's kind of where I'm at.
The Figment popcorn bucket is coming back. He was very popular last year at Festival of the Arts, and he's coming back this year with a brand new lanyard. Also, Jeremiah, were you able to get yourself one of the Sam Eagle sippers and drink out of an eagle's head?
I was able to get myself one and a special fan one that they will receive. So, yes.
Yay.
That is very cool. And you took some great pictures of this guy. I wish I had those handy.
I'm sorry, I sent them to you, but they're on my phone, which is
maybe Tony. I know they're on our Twitter, Tony. I thought they'd be in the article. My mistake for not checking. But you took some Sam Eagle got a nice tour of America.
I was going to do a lot more of that also, but it would have been. I even took some pictures inside the American Adventure because I went in there to see that for the first time since it had reopened. And I had a picture of him sitting next to me, and I was going to put him in the middle of the row. But
Magic Key holders. I think you're one of those, Mike. They're going to have a new print exclusive to Magic Key holders for the Celebrate Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. What do you think of this, Mike? You got room for it on your shelf?
Yeah, I'll be well. Wall space is a whole other issue that the short answer is no. But I will be there on Thursday at Disneyland, and I will be sure to grab one of these and send out some photos of that.
Thank you, Rebecca. Go for it. I love this one so much. How proud was he to be there, Jeremiah? I can see the pride on his face.
He was glowing.
Positively glowing, yes. And then you fed him. I know. I don't know if Rebecca didn't have the feeding, but he got to eat, which was nice. So.
And I tweet out the one of him next to the eagle above the American Adventure curtain?
I think you did. I'm not sure you did. You did 3, and I can't remember if that's the 3rd one. Nice job, Jeremiah. I like when you get creative like that. What else we got? What's going on at Disneyland, Mike? Anything I haven't mentioned that's been going on over there?
Well, Ducks Day is this coming Thursday, which is why I'm going there.
Ooh.
For the Anaheim Ducks. Is that what they're still called? I think so.
Yes.
As of lately, last time we were there, we already talked about it. They were kind of like getting ready to take down all the holiday decorations. The tree was in a sorry state. They hadn't lit the bottom of it. But I think the holidays ended this past weekend, and they're just getting ready for what's next, Lunar New Year.
Yes.
Disney 100, of course, but yes.
And Disney 100. Yeah, that's going to be big at the end of this month.
So Pixar Day at Sea, I believe the first one is going on right now.
Yes.
And there's a couple of things I wanted to show from that. One is the coolest towel animal I've ever seen. And don't say it's basic. This is very hard to do and make it look easy. I think he's adorable. And the other thing I wanted to take, got some nice tweets here. So let me share this one. They've changed how they do characters, at least on the ship for Pixar Day at Sea. This is from our good friends over at our friends over at Mouse Info. I don't know who runs Mouse Info anymore, but certainly the founder was a good friend. Edna Mode and Mrs. Incredible, these are not guest cosplaying. These are actually face characters. And this one is from the Main Street Mouse. Get ready, folks. Find it. What do you think of Frozone and Mr. Incredible as face characters?
Mr. Incredible looks like if Dash put on Mr. Incredible's costume. Look at that hair. Like,
it's I don't mind the idea at all. I
Right,
thought Edna Mode and Mrs. Incredible looked fine. Frozone looks fine. This Mr. Incredible. You a fan, Rebecca? Oh, Rebecca's muted. Try again. You have to unmute yourself, hon.
It's fine. I recognize who it is.
you know Mr. Incredible? You know Mr. Parr?
Yep.
He's tired with the characters.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of went, hey, remember that really bad Buzz Lightyear thing that we did at Disneyland? Hey, watch us do this better, DCL.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I mean, it looks like I guess what you guys wanted him to be more bald. Is that your problem? He has.
I wanted a Craig T. Nelson type.
Yeah, not.
But that's like. But okay, so isn't that more like Craig T. Nelson coach years versus Craig T. Nelson Parenthood?
It's more of.
Didn't see us going there today.
The guy's head is way too small for the padding. Sorry, spoilers. Way too small for the build of the character.
So, I mean, I don't care that much, but he just looks young to me. You know, he's got a teenage daughter, and this person to me looks like he could be, in his mid-20s. That's my biggest issue.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I don't have any of the troubles you guys do. Sorry, I'm good.
Okay. You know what? You could say that and be right in so many ways. You don't have any of the troubles that we do. That is
I'm
for
fine.
sure.
I think the one thing I might slick it down more.
His hair?
Yeah. Just slick it instead of having it be kind of like
Stop
air
showing
blown
it's
kind
giving
of
me
poofy.
nightmares.
I would slick it down more.
Shut up. Oh, someone asked if we have Violet and Dash. So let me see.
I don't believe there are.
Yeah, I think it's just but that Edna Mode was really cool. Go back to Edna Mode. I love the idea of Edna Mode as
the Edna Mode reminds me
character
of a cosplayer from D23 2017.
I really like that's really fun.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Incredible looks great too.
I love this.
I like them both a lot. These two are worth the other two. I'll give you that.
Well, I mean, you're dealing with you're dealing with the cruise ship dynamic. So you've got, it's like a little bit of a more limited dynamic when you're casting there. So
I like though.
Cool.
Despite the challenges they might have, I love that they chose to switch it up to face characters.
Yeah.
Because that interaction that you can have with the face character is just so
100%.
So nice. I'm a big fan of that. I would love to see them try that with like Mickey or Minnie, so you could actually go and
knew
talk to
you were
Mickey
going
and
to go
Minnie.
there. I
So
knew
it'd be
it.
really
I
nice.
knew it.
Chewbacca would make
Okay,
a
but
big
no,
face
but
for it.
in all seriousness, now that you've been ridiculous, is there a character that you would like to see move to face from, masked?
That is a great question.
Because haven't they done the opposite, where for a long time the fairy godmother was faced and then it went masked for a bit, but it's faced again, or it faced in certain circumstances or
Yeah,
something like that?
like Japan uses the mask because they don't have older Caucasian females in Japan. But here it's, they always keep with they can cast more. And that is one of the things I think, as you were saying with the cruise line, the casting is challenging. I'm just throwing the stuff out the window right now because those characters also have to do other roles throughout
Right.
the cruise.
Yeah, there's much more crossover regarding your assignments because you're on a ship, so you have to kind of stick within the resources available on the ship. So yeah.
The one that always confused me, why is this not a face character, was Governor Radcliffe from Pocahontas. So I'm going to go with Governor Radcliffe.
Governor Radcliffe. Is there one that jumps out at you when you think about it, Mike? Because you go to all these like villain nights and
right. Well, I was
princess
thinking
nights.
about Hades from Hercules.
No, you don't want Hades.
Well, they did it at Villains Night recently. He was like the DJ or something at one of the.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
They did it here for Villains Night, and if you have a good character or a good person doing it, like the guy who did it here for Villains Night a few years ago used to be at the Adventures Club, so he could come back with everything. But it does kind of as with all face characters, it depends on who is actually cast as those face characters.
Absolutely.
Because I remember the adaptation for Genie when Aladdin a Spectacular opened at California Adventure. We were also used to the guy in the parade, and then all of a sudden that's not who's going to be performing on stage. So you just had to adapt to it.
Yes. One I was always weird is the way both coasts had a Hunchback of Notre Dame show at the same time.
That's right.
But in California, Hunchback was a rubberhead, and in Florida, Hunchback was a face character. So. Yeah. Oh, really? I haven't seen that. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be
one more topic I wanted to get to today. It is National Pizza Week starting yesterday.
Really?
And there are so many Disney pizza options that could go on and on and on. So I'm going to ask our esteemed panel of experts for one of your favorite Disney pizzas. Jeremiah.
I love Red Rocket's original pizza back when it opened in New Tomorrowland in '98, when they used to have like the whole pizza and everything was.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's very just generic. Pizza Ponte at Disney Springs is still probably the best one in this area.
How about you, Mike, as best as you're able to answer this question?
Yeah, the only pizza I can eat right now at Disneyland is at Red Rose Tavern. Believe it or not, they used to make a gluten-free pizza at Alien Pizza Planet, but they stopped doing that. I think because there's too much cross-contamination there. But you can go and get a gluten-free pizza at Red Rose Tavern. It's pretty good.
Cool. Rebecca, did any stick out in your mind?
Peanut butter and jelly pizza over at Goofy's Kitchen, just because it's weird. It wasn't bad. It was just weird. So it's like, that's not really something you normally get. But this made me think of flatbreads I liked. And it made me start missing PCH Grill and the flatbread they used to bring out to the table when you would sit down. Yeah, see? There you go. PB&J Pizza.
I used to love Pizza Fari at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Their breakfast pizza was the best.
You had a really good breakfast pizza somewhere, Doobie.
I love the breakfast pizza. I don't know if it's still there, but at Trails End.
That's right. Yeah, Trails End breakfast pizza.
Absolutely. But my absolute favorite Disney pizza can be
remember.
found not at Disneyland, not at Disney World.
Dude, for the longest time, our son would only eat Disney World pizza. Oh, Palo!
But on the Disney ships, Palo, Grape and gorgonzola pizza. Oh my goodness.
Grape and gorgonzola pizza. So good. Not a fan, Jeremiah?
I am desperately trying to get Palo brunch for next week while I'm on the fantasy, and it's all booked up. So I've never been the person that has run to guest services as soon as I get on the ship to try to get that, but that will be the first thing I go for, because Palo brunch is probably the best meal I've had any Disney location.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We have been those people many times. The rush on board and get the Palo. We've also been the people who managed to get it later in the trip for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about it for today's episode of Disney Parks Talk. Yes, Jeremiah.
Oh,
go ahead.
Jeremiah's got something.
We're missing out, Doobie. I know the last time this park did something, it was one of the biggest stories we ever did.
Okay.
Opening on January 12th. We got the
Legoland
Pirate
Paris.
River Quest.
This is so exciting for Central Florida.
Yeah, I'm heading out there on Wednesday. They're doing a special media preview for it.
Wonderful.
They also have done some soft openings, and I know from people that are out there, they've gotten lots of positive feedback from the guests. And this takes place in the old canals of
Cypress Garden.
Thank you, of Cypress Garden. And the photos and the time that I'd gone out there, they didn't change a lot. They added stuff to it. So you're still experiencing Cypress Gardens as it was, with the beauty. The old banyan tree is out there that isn't going anywhere unless they tear down the entire land. So that opens up this week, and we will definitely have some coverage of that.
Yeah, and we plan to talk to Jeremiah as a part of our morning show on that day about his experience there. So it's going to be a fun day, fun week. It's actually quite a busy week. So please stay tuned to the LPTV and our morning update. The times are going to fluctuate a little bit because there's just so much going on. So if you just tune it into LPTV at all times, you won't miss a thing. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for the support, Bob. We really appreciate it. Thank
We do
you.
appreciate
Very
that.
thoughtful.
Thanks a
Very
lot,
nice.
Bob.
Thank you.
And Gio and everyone who's out there and checks these out. We appreciate it. And we'll be back next Monday, but we'll be live all week long. Marvel Time, this, Disney Trivia Live, Who's the Boss Live. So much going on. Stay tuned. Talk to you later.